Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Van Ursel, and I wanted to welcome you to our webinar on attracting top talent. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day, which I hope is a nice warm one this summer. So I want to start off and tell you a little bit about me. So I'm currently a senior solutions consultant at HR Strategies Consulting. And HR Strategies is an HR consulting firm that has two lines of business. The first is management consulting on the HR side. So things like compensation, job evaluation, pay equity, OD, policy review, organizational review. And then we have our HR technology division, which helps companies really leverage that HR technology to accelerate their business results. So we do technology readiness, and we also do HRIS implementations. As for me, I've been in talent acquisition for over 15 years. Starting in the dot-com boom, and then of course the dot-com bust, which came soon after, and just helping companies throughout these past 15 or so years really grow their companies, their talent, and attract people to them. Also really right now as a senior solutions consultant, I've helped companies in understanding what this technology can do, how far it's taken us, and how it can really leverage it to get to the next step. So why don't we get right into the webinar? I'll tell you what we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to talk about how recruiting has changed, right? Social media, social sharing, the Millennial Influence, how to increase your conversion rates, why targeted landing pages work, mobile applications, the all-important leveraging your recruiting marketing dollar, and how tools can actually help you do that. So how has recruiting changed? I don't know how many of you out there are old enough to remember it used to be paper, right? Every Thursday you'd have to get your copy exactly right, send it off to the newspaper along with your check, and place your ad. Then every Sunday, the applicants would go through, circle by hand, take their resume, put it in an envelope, and mail it to you. Right? We had rows and rows of filing cabinets. It was all paper-based. Then things changed, right? We started to get job boards. Their early adopters were things like Dice and Monster, that have now an online portal for job applicants to look at. Then came email, LinkedIn and Facebook, and social networking was just starting to really take hold, having people connect for reasons other than just finding a job. And then we got aggregators like Indeed and review sites like Glassdoor. Now, even Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest are used for recruiting. So talent shortage is a real issue. Right? The U.S. Labor Department reported a record 6.6 million job openings. That's half of the U.S. employers with open positions. In 2009, there were 6.5 people for each new job. Now it's less than 1.5 people. Right? It's gotten very tight out there, competition for that talent. Everything switched from paper to online, right? Nobody sends in a paper resume anymore. Everything's email. Everything's online. 67% of unemployed and 61% of employed internet users visited a recruitment website. That's over half of people who are employed who are looking at jobs out there. So online recruiting. There's definitely some advantages, right? It's cost effective. It's immediate. You don't have to do it Thursday and wait for it Sunday. As soon as you post it, it's up there. You're attracting a bigger audience. Instead of just your local paper, you can now reach not only the larger community, but globally. It's flexible. If you find your ad isn't working, you can go in and change some words, change the title, add a video, add a picture, all of that instantly. It's durable. They last forever, right? Nothing on the internet ever goes away. We warn our children of this all the time. And of course, the hiring process is faster. But there's also some disadvantages, right? Costs can spiral very quickly. They can just add up. We always say 50% of your marketing dollars work. It's just hard to measure what 50%. And today, hopefully, I'm going to show you some ways we can get that measurement done. Also, it can be difficult to measure, right? Again, we're going to show you some tools and analytics that can help with that. The average now is about 250 resumes per job. That is a lot of manpower to sort through. Also, since you got 250 resumes, you're getting a lot of unqualified candidates. And not only unqualified candidates, they can even be fraud or fake candidates as well. There's also a lot of competition, right? Now, remember, we're looking at global and regional, not just local. So you're competing with every single company that's out there. So you really have to make yourself stand out. And hopefully we're going to show you some tools for that as well. And it's also informal. So according to a LinkedIn study, 70% of the global workforce is made up of passive talent, and 30% are active job seekers. And it's that passive talent that we want to get onto that social media to attract. And why? Because 87% of them are open to a new opportunity. You just have to get your opportunity, your company top of mind, and to show why you're the best place to work. Right? The number one reason they change jobs is career opportunity. So low unemployment means that companies face tough competition. Right? As candidates apply for fewer jobs, companies must work harder to be noticed in that crowded field. Reputation matters more than ever, and candidates say the hiring process impacts the overall opinion of a company. So the top reasons that it's important to get out there on social media is to find passive candidates, to increase your employer brand and brand recognition, to target candidates with specific skill sets, to allow potential candidates to connect with the organization on a more informal level, on a more personalized level, and to create an online community. So social media provides an outlet for companies to engage with that talent, right? Social recruiting is powerful because it presents an opportunity to engage one-on-one with that more personalized messaging. Helps candidates feel like they're cared for and they're valued even before they become employees, and that translates over to employee engagement and longevity. But social media does more than just facilitate contact and communication. Brands can use their social pages to respond to reviews, showcase their culture, their corporate values, as well as posting their jobs. They can also use their employees to communicate company information via their own social media pages, right? I don't know how many people share their own company's posts, like on LinkedIn or on Facebook, right? Reshare and like those posts and expand that community even more. The other thing that's important is if your company has negative online reviews, especially on places like Glassdoor, candidates really appreciate reading personal responses for the company, right? Think about it. We all go to Yelp. We all look at that and we look at how they respond, right? Restaurants and everything else, how they respond to those negative reviews just as much as the negative reviews themselves. So a representative from the company should really thank the reviewers for their input, provide insights on how you're taking steps to address those concerns. So what are the best social channels to build your employer brand? Well, the number one is actually your own career site. Number two is LinkedIn. Number three is a job board. 4 is Facebook, and then campus recruiting. So the millennial influence. We love to blame the millennials for a lot. Truth is, they've really done a lot for us as well, right? They've grown up with this technology, with this social media, with this instant feedback, and they expect a consumer-grade experience, right? The same level as apps, the same level as commercial sites. They expect that instant feedback, and it's affected the way everything functions, right? So our websites, our social media presence has to match that expectation. And yeah, like I said, we like to complain about them in the instant feedback, but the truth is, we all enjoy it. We all find it useful. Even I love, the car mirror when it flashes that somebody's in my blind spot, right? I've gotten really used to that. I find it really helpful. So we all have grown to accept these practices and expect them. So millennials are 38% of the workforce right now, and they're going to be 75% by 2025. So we need to adapt to them. So the best ways to attract millennials, believe it or not, your employer brand, right? Your employer brand, your presence out there, whether it's your own website, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, however you're doing it, that is going to get their attention. More than goodwill and community outreach, employee ambassadors, online presence, and then they want a mobile apply process that's quick and easy. So let's talk a little bit about conversion rates. Well, what do I mean by conversion rate? Well, this is really the funnel, right? This is when a visitor to your website becomes a member of your talent community to become an applicant and eventually a hire. So the average conversion rate of visitor to applicant is only 8.5%. So how can we improve that? First and foremost is improving the candidate experience. Not only will having a strong candidate experience improve your hires, but it affects more than just your hiring. A poor candidate experience would make 60% of job seekers less likely to purchase your employer's product. So that affects their buying choices of your product, not just their desire to work for you. So millennials, they're going to go out there, they're going to see your job, but before they apply, they want to gather some information about you. Who is your company? What is your culture? What do you believe in? What are you going to do for them to grow their careers? Well, the first place they go overwhelmingly is your website. Then they go to LinkedIn, then they go to the search engines, right? So your website is the most important piece of this puzzle. Right? So also keep up your social media presence, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Facebook, but keep your website targeted with the information that job seekers want to see. So this leads right into our next topic, which is custom landing pages. So you must create ways to engage candidates and for candidates to engage with you. These ways don't necessarily involve applications either. It's all about relationship building and a personal connection in order to develop and maintain that healthy candidate pool. So you want to target information just for them, right? So new grads, engineers, teachers, retirees, you're going to create these custom landing pages that explain why they want to work for you. What's the corporate culture? What's the career advancement? What is it you offer them? And you can focus it right towards that group, right? Personalize it with stories, videos they can relate to, right? So if you're focusing on new grads and you have a video of a 45-year-old middle manager, they're not going to relate to that. By having the custom page, you can have somebody who's, say, 1 or 2 years just outside of university talking about how working for this company has catapulted their career. Same thing if you want to attract, say, retirees, and you have a 20-year-old, they're not going to relate. So you might want to have stories or videos of somebody who's approaching retirement or recently retired who talks about the flexibility that they offer and how they're going to work with them, right? So you can very much target it and get your different messages across to those specific individuals. You also want to create that talent community, right? Get those talent community going, get them involved, be sending them alerts, job alerts, even, white papers, other articles, blogs, and wikis that you put on to send to them. And then you want technology can track these visitors, these community members, and applicants automatically. We're going to show you how you can do that. But now that you have their attention, let's make it easy for them to apply. 45% of job seekers search for jobs daily on their mobile device. What do job seekers do in this time period? Well, they're going to read employee reviews of the company. They're going to look up salary information, and they're going to save the jobs on their mobile phone to apply to maybe later on their desktop, unless we make it easy enough for them to do it right now from their phone. So 2/3 of organizations have actually taken steps to leverage mobile recruiting by optimizing their career sites, job postings, and application processes for mobile. This includes texting candidates and sending job alerts also out via text, not just email. So this one really shocked me. Over half job seekers applied to 5 or fewer jobs in their last search. 5 or less. I think we all remember the days when candidates would apply to 40, 50, 100, 300 jobs in order to land one job because there were so many applicants out there. Well, now there aren't. So the applicants are being picky. They've applied to 5 or less jobs. You really need to get their attention. I'm going to say it again. 50% of marketing dollars work. Just have to know which 50%. If we look here, the difference between where the applicants come from on the left and where the hires come from on the right, there is a huge difference. So as we're going through our analytics and our reports, how do we really know where our marketing dollars are spent best? Right? This is the eternal struggle trying to figure that out, right? So what we need to do is get some tools that are going to give us pure analytics to be able to dissect this information. So how can these tools help? Well, job seekers expect the same ease of use and functionality they see in apps and websites that they use every day when they're searching and applying for a job. So when searching for a job, people want to visit job search sites that allow them to mark the jobs of interest, save them, come back later, send them out to their friends, receive recommendations based on job preferences, and get salary information, and enable them to reach out directly and have that communication with the employers. 2/3 of senior talent acquisition and HR leaders would prefer to implement best-of-breed solutions over seeking or waiting for a fully integrated suite that provides the functionality. So what features make it best-of-breed? Well, having all your candidates in one place, right? So we've all been there where your agencies send you candidates on email, and then you have to go to Monster to look at those candidates, and you have to go to Indeed to look at those candidates, and somebody else emails you, and all your candidates are in 8 different places. So if everything can come into one easy, convenient source, you only have one place to look and one place to prioritize, that's going to save you time. Simplifying email campaigns, right? Those mass emails that we send out to those groups of candidates, being able to create candidate pools, get them, group them together, send those mass emails quickly and easily, and then get those responses all in one place. Texting the candidates as well, right? It can be individually, it can be about a specific job, it can be about an interview, but it can also be job alerts, mass texts out to candidate groups. Automate regular communications, right? They can be templated emails, automated emails that are going to get that two-way communication going that's going to convert those talent communities into applicants. And they're not just about jobs. Yes, we have the job alerts, but it can be about a career fair. It can be about a promotion. It can be about a blog, right? Just getting that communication and getting everyone engaged. And then dynamically create those landing pages that are going to capture the job seeker's attention and bring them right to your site. So I'm going to show you a tool that not only can do all of this and a lot more, because we don't have time to show you everything the tool can do, but it can do that. And it is a fully integrated HRIS system that comes with 8 different modules. We're just going to focus on the recruiting today. So let me switch out of here and into the system and talk a little bit about what this does, okay? So we are talking about SuccessFactors. So SAP SuccessFactors is a fully integrated HRIS system. What we're going to focus on today is really the recruiting marketing tool, right? There is a recruiting management tool. We'll get into that just a tiny bit today. And we're happy to arrange a demo to show the full features of that. But today we're going to focus on the recruiting marketing, which is really going to address everything we've been talking about with the social media, the marketing dollars, the conversion of candidates. So we're going to start with a couple of clients that are using the system and using it well. So first of all, this is a patented technology that turns every job into a marketing campaign. It dynamically creates custom landing pages with full SEO built in to get you your results and get you to show up on the top of those Google search pages even before the aggregators look. Because we know nowadays, most people start their search. They don't go to monster.com and search anymore. They go to Google and put that in. So you want your site to come up first, and our technology has all of that SEO, search engine optimization, built in to get you up there. So once they're here, we want to get their attention, right? We want to get them to join. So what we really like about this one is this join our network is right here at the top. And it's simple. All you have to put in is your email address, because our patent technology automatically records what words you put in that Google search to get here. So now we already know what your keywords are to send you those job alerts. We don't have to ask you. And we don't have to ask you where you came from, right? You know how we always ask candidates when they apply, where did you hear about us? And we have this big, huge drop down. Well, people, you have to trust that they're going to tell you the truth. But reality is they're probably going to pick one of the top 3 or 4. Well, you don't have to ask that anymore because our technology automatically records that information. And we'll get to the analytics and you can see some of this information that it has in the background. So we really like this. Get this up front, get their attention, get them converted at least part of the way. Studies have shown that those who join your talent community will apply for, 90% will apply for a job within a year. So another important factor is the mobile. So I'm just going to resize this. And as you can see, as I go down, it's going to automatically adapt for your tablet. And then as we make it smaller for your mobile, right? So it's dynamic. I think we call it the dynamic web page that automatically is optimized for mobile and tablets. And we get into the back end and show you how easy it is to do this yourself without going to your marketing department or your IT. And then optimizing it for that as well. So we talked a lot about targeted landing pages. And Amtrak does this very, very well. So as we go in, we're going to pick one of their featured jobs here. And as we click on this, we can see all this information directly about engineers. This is what our engineering team does. This is how we work with them. This is how we can help you grow your career, right? Here's a video. And then all your social media sharing is right here. And then the jobs that are just engineering jobs are here as well. Not going to go in there. This is actually their live site. I don't want to apply for anything, but we do integrate with Zing, Seek, and LinkedIn so people can apply directly using their profiles on those sites. So let me show you now how easy it is to change some of this yourself. So first, I'm going to show you real quick, this is a quick and easy site that we have put together, right? It's not quite as fancy as the others, but this is it. So I'm going to go in and show you how simple it is to change this. So I'm going to log into the system. Okay, and again, this is our recruiting management. And we can arrange a time to show that. But I'm going to get into here and show how we can control, we can change that back end. Okay, so as we go in here, so this is the site itself. And as you can see, it's very easy. So this is where we can choose if we want it to be optimized for the desktop, your tablets, or your mobile. We can add widgets. It's all done through widgets to make it fast and easy, right? So we can put in a custom plugin. We can add featured jobs. We can add a dynamic job map where you click on it and zoom in and it's going to go directly to the locations where the jobs are. We can add images and text, image carousels, an info and subscribe form, a big image, a search bar, just a subscribe form, text, 2 columns, a video, right? We can add all of these widgets anywhere we want. And then with these arrows here, you can move widgets up or down as you choose. So let's add, and I don't know how many of you have actually gone in with HTML and tried to change anything on the web page, right? Because sometimes you have to send it out to IT and you're going to wait 2 weeks for any changes to come up. And if you've ever tried to do it yourself, one of the most difficult things to do is an image carousel. Let me show you how easy it is. I'm going to add that. It should have just come right here at the bottom. So we're going to have an image carousel here. So I click anywhere on this gray box, and I'm going to call it webinar images. Okay. So this is how many images do I want showing at a time on the page, right? Why don't I get 4? And when it moves, how many do I want it to scroll over to the left? How many do I want it to move at a time? So let's say 2. This is how much space do I want in between those images, the height of the images, and then the display interval. How quickly is it going to move, right? Okay, so now let's pick our images. So right now there's 1 image. Let's do an image. Since we are doing 4 on a page, let's make sure we get at least that many. So I'm just going to pick some images that I've uploaded here. So you can change it so it's tiled, stretched, or scaled. We're going to scale this one. And then you can pick where you want it, right? Top left, middle left, bottom right. We're going to keep this in the middle. And we're just going to keep adding some more images. Okay. Now, let's preview it. So you can see I moved this up to the top. It was down here before. I can show you that, right? So we've moved that up. And now here at the bottom is my image carousel. Now, that was very simple, but let's say I don't like that so much. I don't like the blue background. It blends right in, and I want these a little farther apart. So let me change that. So if I go in here to styles and I take my background, I'm not so sure. Let's make it pink so it really stands out. right? And you couldn't really see my header either. So let's make that, what color do I want to make that? Let's make that a different color. Let's make it that color so it also stands out. And then if I go in here and I make that space between a little bigger, so let me preview that one now. There it is, right? We've changed our header, we've changed the pink, and we've spaced it out. It is that fast and easy to do this all by yourself. So now that we've seen how easy this is to do, let's look a little bit at those analytics and that reporting and how that's going to really catapult us to understanding, right? That 50% of the marketing budget, where is it going? Where are we best to spend our time and our energies? This is how we know that information. So this is our recruiting marketing analytics, and what it's doing is it's taking all the data and information, right? We're looking at where they're coming from. We get all the keyword information of what they've put in, and it's calculating the visitors, who joins the talent community, who applies, and then down to becoming a hire. So this is actually a dummy site. It's one of our clients who lets us use this information blinded. So this is the dashboard, and we can see how many active jobs we have. I don't think most people have quite that many, but like I said, we're using this as an aggregate of information. Here's our talent community. What are our users? How many have joined? Here's our trend, right? And then here's our recruiting breakout of where they've gone from applying to qualified to interview, offers, and hires. So it's talking about that conversion rate here. And then our source effectiveness. This is hires by source. So I like this type of graph, right? A nice visual graph that tells you this is our visits by month, by job source. You can also look at applies by month, by source. You can see how that changes, right? So you can look at interviews, offers, hires, conversion rates. You can slice and dice this information any way you see fit. You can look at one measure only, right? You can. You can look at your source summary, right? This is visits by source type. Again, we can look at applies, subscribes, right? However we want to slice and dice this data. And then, of course, we can change our time frame as well, and then put filters on it also. Okay. This is my favorite chart. I think it provides everything in one simple, very easy to read. Right, everything's on top of each other. You've got your color coding down here to see really where the trends are and which sites are growing and shrinking. Another great thing about this is you can ask questions, and they're very logical questions that a recruiter or talent acquisition manager would ask. What kinds of jobs am I posting? I love this because what you can find is, okay, in January, I look for salespeople. In summer, I look for customer service agents, right? And you can really get some of those trends. And then from there, you can say, okay, so this is why these different job boards are working better in different times of the year, because different job boards work better for different types of jobs. So it's really getting in there and analyzing all of that data to find out, okay, in January, DICE works because I'm posting for software engineers. And in April, Monster works because I'm looking for teachers, right? So it's a matter of really trying to figure out not just what works, but why and the reasons underneath it. Another one of these questions I really like is my sourcing funnel. Right, so this gives you an actual funnel, and it divides it by your top boards up here. All your full boards are down here with your average over here. So visits per hires, applies per hire, qualifieds, interviews, offers, right? Really breaks that information down. And again, you can slice and dice this, change the time period. And back to one of our other questions or topics earlier is mobile recruiting. So this is going to break apart those who have applied from mobile and those who have applied from their desktop. Right, so here's the mobile applies and here's the non-mobiles. So it's where they come from to get here. Right, this data is invaluable to be able to take that information and, right, can you see how somebody given a list, and your list is probably not as extensive as this. You have these five things to choose from. They're almost always going to choose one of the top two because other means they have to type something in. This captures all of it as well as the keywords they put in for you. So you can really target people, and all the data it's pulled from is down here. But this is the engine that drives it. So this is where we can really look and take each source, the visits, the subscribes, the starts, the conversion of visitors to applicants, right? And then the conversion of that to qualifies, to interviews, to hires, to applies per hire, even to your cost per hire right here. Lots and lots of info. And then of course you can, just as with all the others, you can slice and dice this information and divide it up by whatever's going to work for you to get exactly that data you want. So now you can figure out which percentage of your marketing dollar is working. Never seen any analytics like this, and I get a little excited. So make no mistake, the war for talent it's a battle. And right now, especially, it's a candidates market. Competition out there to get their attention and keep it is tough. Remember, there's 1.5 people for every open job right now, right? But this is a battle that you can win. It's not just luck. You know, we hear a lot of emphasis on employee engagement, but that engagement actually needs to start before their employees. We also need candidate engagement. Our reputation, our brand is important not just for selling our product, but for winning that war on talent. Right? That candidate experience is tied closely to the customer experience and therefore to employee engagement and longevity. So we need to really tighten that social media strategy, be more active on there, get those targeted landing pages, engage those candidates early and often, and with the right tools, you can ensure that you lead the way to win this war for talent. Thank you.